Hi everybody, it's Doreen, and I'm back today with a anniversary card for my mother-in-law and father-in-law. So come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay everybody, so I'm going to bring up my supplies so we can get started making this card. So my card measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I take it and scored it with my score buddy to make it a 8.5 by 5.25 inch card. And then what I've done is I've gone ahead and run it through my Swiss Dots Cuttlebug folder, which looks like this. So now what I'm ready to do is to go ahead and we're going to add the top layer. Now the top layer measures 2 1/8 by 5.5. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and already added my pearl trim across the top here. So now I'm just going to go ahead and line up where I want to put it. And then we're going to go ahead and tape it down. So let's go ahead and add some tape using the ATG gun. And I'm going to run along the middle here and along the edges. And then I'm going to go ahead and add it to the card. Now I'm going to try and put just a little bit of the tape along the top here, which may be a little difficult because I've got that trim that has the pearls on it. But I'm just going to go ahead very carefully and see if I can get some tape on there. I may have to take the glue gun and just add a thin layer of glue across the top. We'll see once I go ahead and lay it down. And this cardstock that I'm using is just some cardstock that I picked up at Joann's. It's their off-brand, whatever that is. Okay, so I'm a little bit off here on the edges, but I still believe that'll be okay. So there. So now let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and lay out my ribbon. And my piece of ribbon measures 6.5 inches. And I just want to put that across right there. Now I'm not adding a top layer up here at the top, so this ribbon will just go along here, and I'm going to go ahead and take my tape and do the cheater method and just add that as soon as I can find my tape. Okay, it was hiding from me. I'm working on another project and I've got my scrap room pretty messy. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take my Tombow adhesive and run some tape on the other side so that I can just lay this down flat. No, now that I think about it, I don't want to do that because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a fake knot on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to use that piece of ribbon another time, and I'm going to go ahead and cut another 6.5 inches real quickly here. And then I'm just going to go back to my original idea, which was to use the cheater method and lay this down with just a strip of tape. And you'll see why I've decided to do it this way once I get this on here. Now I realize that's going to show on the other side, so what I may do later off camera is add another top layer on top of there so that doesn't show. Okay, so now that we have that on, I'm going to cut or before I cut another strip of ribbon to put my fake knot on here, I'm going to go ahead and add my flower. Now, to make this flower, this is from the Accents Essential cartridge, and it is located on page 56. It's this flower right here. I've cut both this one, and then I cut the top layer and then the bottom layer. Now on your gypsy, and they were cut at 2 inches, on your gypsy that would be key 25, which would look like this. And then what you'll do is you'll hit the shift key and hit key 25 again and cut that layer, which would be your bottom layer. So I've done that, and then I took and ran it through my Cutterbuck folder again, the Swiss dot ones, and then I decided that I wanted to add some pearls since I have the pearl on the trim here. So I went ahead, I have this big bucket of pearls that looks like this. I'm sorry for the glare. And I believe there's like, it says 200 grams in here, so I don't know how many are in there. I picked that up at Michael's, and because I didn't have any more flat back pearls. So I just added those using my glue gun. And then I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up, but the flower in the middle is once again the flowers that I learned how to make from Kathy Paper Phenomenon. If you go to her blog, which is paperphenomenon.blogspot.com, she will give you the cut file on how to make these flowers. And she also has a Ustream class, and I'll include that somewhere, probably in the video up there somewhere. So let's go ahead and add our flower. And I'm going to add this using my glue gun. And what I did also to make the flower, the one in the middle, is I just took some cream color cardstock, and then I took my chalk inks by Versamagic, and I used the, I believe this color is, let's see, it's called Pixie Dust, and it looks like this. So I took and colored the cream color cardstock with the pixie dust, and then I decided that I wanted to add just a little bit more color to it. So I went ahead and I used the Stampin' Up! Blush Blossom as well. And then I inked the edges of the flower using the Tim Holtz Walnut Stain Distress ink. And I also did that on my top layer as well on the edges. So let's go ahead and take the glue gun and add our flower. And I'm going to put it right there. See, about right there. So now what I want to go ahead and do is I want to go ahead and cut another piece of ribbon. And I'm just going to cut this. I'm not going to measure out how much I'm going to cut off. I'm just going to cut it. And then I'm going to slip the ribbon in through here and just tie a knot to make it look like a bow, or what I call a fake knot. And just pull it like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and take and snip my edges in an angle. We cut that side, and then we'll go ahead and cut this side. And tie just a little bit tighter. So that's what we have for the front of the card. But the last thing I want to do on the front of the card is go ahead and add my sentiment. Now my sentiment is from a romance set that I picked up at Joann's. It's, I believe, a Fisker's brand stamp set. It's Yes, it is Friskers. And the stamp set looks like this. It's a really big one, and it's called Romance. And I'm going to go ahead and add my happy anniversary using my clear box stamp. Now, I'm not going to use the Stamp-A-Majig because I wasn't able to line the Stamp-A-Majig up because I have the pearls across here and it was not able to lay flat. So I'm going to just go ahead and eyeball this. So I'm inking up my stamp using the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And as I said before, I'm just going to go ahead and eyeball it. Make sure I get enough ink on there. And I believe I want to place it right here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and press down. And then release. And I put it on upside down.
I can't believe I did that. Well, I can fix it.
Okay, everybody, so now I'm going to go ahead and add my sentiment for the front of the card. Again, I've gone ahead and redid the front, and this time I'm sure that my stamp is correct and the right way. So we're just going to eyeball this and add it down here in the corner and stamp down. And there we have Happy Anniversary. So now let's go ahead and put our sentiment in the inside. Now what I've gone ahead and done is I've typed out on my computer my sentiment, which is: the secret of your happy marriage must be those two little words, yes dear. And then I've just signed it, my name and my husband's name. And I took my Spellbinders die, the classic square, and I used this size and I used this size so I could have a double layer. And then I took my We Are Memory corner chomper and I used the scalloped edge to go ahead and make my sentiment look like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up the card. And as I said before, when I'm off camera, I'm going to go ahead and cover that up so that you don't see the tape. So we're just going to take the Tombow adhesive and go ahead and put our sentiment in the inside. Like so. So there you have it. There is the anniversary card that I've made for my in-laws. Happy anniversary, Mary and Bob. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.